This podcast is not a replacement for therapy. All conversations, guests, tips, recommendations, etc. that are discussed are provided as educational, thought-provoking, inspirational insights, and not specific professional therapeutic or psychiatric advice. Our views expressed are our own personal experiences, insights, and perspectives. Information heard here is to be used at your own caution and discretion. As always, please seek out your own mental and medical health care to best serve you. Hi, Dee.
It has been a minute. It's been a few months, hasn't it?
Just a few months, yes. And I'll tell you, it's a drag to try to pull myself to the computer to do this. But every time I see your face and we're talking, like even the 5 minutes before, I feel energized and ready to dive into this topic.
Me too, guys.
It's very self-serving. It's called self-care for mental health professionals, or at least that's the topic. So,
absolutely. And why do we need self-care, cuz?
Let's drop the only statistic that is necessary, because mental health care professionals have a high risk of burning out, experiencing issues like compassion fatigue.
Absolutely. And I just learned that term a year ago. I never even heard of it before. I was looking some shit up, and I'm going to be cussing a lot. Excuse me. Please hide your kids. Going to be cuss words this podcast. But I looked it up because I was like, I was dealing with some stuff, and I was just like, man, I love my job. I'm passionate about my job, but darn it, if I don't want to sit in front of my computer today and listen to my clients, like, I was like, what is going on? So I started Googling, and I'm like, what? There's a such thing as compassion fatigue or compassion burnout. And I started reading all of and could you go into what some of the symptoms are?
Could I go into it?
Yeah. Because when I looked it up, I was just like, okay, I have that, and that's me, and oh yes, that's me too. Oh yeah.
Well, the one that is always number one on my list is reduced feelings of empathy and sensitivity. Feelings of helplessness and powerlessness in the face of patient suffering. Feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by work demands. Feeling detached, numb, and emotionally disconnected. Loss of interest in activities you used to enjoy. How many of these lit up for you? And I mean, there are more. I mean, difficulty sleeping. There are physical symptoms like headache, nausea, upset stomach, increased conflict in personal relationships, neglect of your own self-care, withdrawal and self-isolation, and an increase in substance use as a form of self-medication. Increased anxiety, sadness, anger, and irritability. Difficulty concentrating and making decisions. The list goes on.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was lucky about is that I did not notice any issues with my empathy. I seem to still be able to empathize. I think mostly what I was noticing was sleep problems, irritability, just again, lack of motivation of wanting to sit there and just so you know, this is I figured out it was mostly because I have about 80 clients, and about 75% of them are for trauma therapy. And so I realized that sitting there and listening to their traumas back to back to back. Cause I do sessions like from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at night. And I get maybe like 3-hour break during the day to like, do homework with my kids, pick them up from school, that kind of thing. And I was like, okay, here you're sitting here, you're doing back to back to back to back session. You finish one, you go right into another, finish that, and you're listening to, and you're absorbing. I'm like, you're the same stuff you tell your clients that about like to stay away from this on social media or stay away from this type of shows or whatever, because, when you deal with unresolved trauma, like watching SVU, when you've been a victim of rape is going to be triggering, right? And it may exacerbate like your nightmares or whatever have you. And so I'm sitting there like, well, hello, you're absorbing everyone's trauma all day long. It's going to have an effect on you, So it's like, I didn't like, it wasn't super bad. Like I just noticed a change in me, a slight change. Like I said, like irritability, just like, not fully wanting to just be in front of my computer and do sessions. I was just tired. I was just really, 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 really tired. And so, yeah, I looked up the compassion fatigue and I was like, wow, like, yeah, that sounds about right. And I was thinking, I wonder how many therapists know about this. That was my first thought.
Do you remember when you were in grad school, if they talked about this at all, or
No.
if they built in any protective factors like this is how you can avoid burnout?
No, I can tell you right off the bat. There was so much that grad school did not teach me. It's like coming out of the gate, even internship didn't teach me. Coming out of the gate, I started working at a community mental health center, or I guess it wasn't really a center, it was a practice, right? And they were like huge on like Medicaid and that kind of thing. So we were getting like, I don't know, like 50 referrals a day or something like that of kids.
So you're trained to grind it out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I learned really early on that you just keep going, that like nobody gives a crap about therapists. I'm just going to be honest. Like, no, like you're there to help people, you're not there to, talk about what's going on with you or share what's going on with you. Like, nobody cares about, nobody checks in on a therapist. Everyone is just like, you should be fine.
And when I talk to clients about their therapists, a lot of them will be like, they're a little crazy.
Really?
They got some stuff going on. Like sometimes they'll be the craziest.
I'm glad they recognize that because, yeah, I've met some. I'll tell you what, man. I am huge on practicing what I preach. Like I see therapists myself. I have a therapist right now, and I actually love her. Shout out to you. I'm not gonna call you out on the podcast, but I really love you, girl. You good, girl. But I also have a couples therapist. I've had family therapists. Like I stay in therapy. I always keep a therapist in my back pocket because I truly feel that everybody needs a safe space to go and talk through, their shit. And I got plenty of shit.
And I kind of think that that's probably the ultimate in self-care for mental health professionals, where you dedicate time and space to have the focus on you or to launch into an inquiry about what's important to you. And are you showing up in those ways? It's about that. So, all right.
Like, how can we preach self-care and not, practice it ourselves? You know what I mean? Like, I swear, like I say that all the time in sessions. I'm like, look, gotta wrap this up. So I'm going to the gym. I'm like, I practice what I preach. So I had to go. But like, it makes me like, one of the first things I thought about when you, proposed this topic was the fact that like, I feel like people in the outside world don't look at us like we have issues. They look at us like we're almost like we're not human. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't, And like every time I start a session, like of course I go in super bubbly and smiley because don't nobody want no therapist going in looking all sad and whatever. And so,
Sad
but
and
they
crabby.
get yeah. So they get like all my clients are always like, oh, you're always so happy, you're always so bubbly. Like I bet you never been sad or depressed in your life. I'm like, girl, let me tell you, you know what I mean? But of course, we don't want to overshare. We never want to take like the focus off of our clients. You know what I mean? I think that's another reason why as mental health professionals, we don't open up. I mean, of course, it's the stigma too, like that we're supposed to always be doing well. But yeah, we never want to take the focus off of our clients. So we don't, all the time, we don't share that we too have dealt with depression or anxiety or trauma or whatever have you.
Absolutely. And of course, I really want to launch into what we were talking about before we started recording, which was how was the past year for you?
I knew you were gonna throw me back out there.
And how did you?
You're gonna talk about self-care first. I thought we were gonna talk about. Is that the end? We do it at the end. Okay.
We do it at the end. Come on now, we don't give it all away for free at the beginning.
So I did say I was going to, share some stuff because, I feel like as therapists, like we don't really talk about the fact that we go through stuff too, again, the stigma. But I think that we need to talk more and share more. And I've noticed that like I haven't seen it myself, but I've heard of, some clients here and there say that like, oh, there's this therapist on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever. And they open up and they share, their trials and tribulations, like what's going on with them. And it helps people, but I still do think that it's still it's like a line, like, I don't know, you got to tiptoe around it because it's like you don't want clients to be like, oh, I don't want to go see them because they have issues or like, you know what I mean? Or they can't even deal with their own issues kind of thing. And I'm like, I feel like I do feel confident in my skills as a therapist. I do, man, I ain't gonna lie. Like there are times whenever like in the beginning of a session with my very first client or whatever, like it's our first session, I'm always like, hey, welcome. And you got the best therapist in the world. So congrats. And they always laugh. And I'm half kidding, half real too. Cause I'm like, I love myself as a therapist. I think I'm a great therapist. I'm not like conceited or anything, but I do take pride in what I do and I have a passion for what I do. And at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm going to work for everybody. Like you have to, keep finding that person you're going to connect with. But the clients that I have, like we connect really well and they're all doing really, really freaking well. But there have been like, especially last year, 2023 was a clusterfuck. I mean, I was going through a divorce, going through like just drama with, and I'm in a current relationship. Just gonna throw that out there. Yes, I am. And so it was just like, it was a lot. It was a lot because my current relationship, he is British. And so I am in a extremely long distance relationship, and that, I don't know how many people out there have experienced that, but it causes a lot of issues. Like it's one of the hardest things I think I take that back. Not the hard one. I'm going to say one of the hardest things that I've had to do in my life is because I am a physical touch. I am a quality time person, but quality time in person. So that was difficult. My divorce was, I mean, everybody knows divorces are traumatic, no matter how amicable you try to be. The beginning of that divorce was not amicable. I'm just going to be honest. I tried my best. I did all the techniques that I learned as a therapist. I got to try my best, but I got extremely depressed. I ate myself almost to my death. To the point where I couldn't swallow. I had to go to the emergency room. They thought I was having a heart attack, and I was just like, I should know better. I'm a therapist, I should know better. But, depression, it gets a hold, and it's like I couldn't leave my clients in a lurch, so I was trying to work all the time. I was taking care of my boys. I didn't want them to know what was going on, so I kept just hiding. My current partner, was aware, but he struggles with being emotionally supportive. So I felt super alone. So, and the therapist I had at the time, God bless them. They were it's not the one I have now. Like I said, she's OG, she's great, she's amazing. They just were not beneficial. I would go to them and I would talk about.
I think you told me about this therapist.
What?
Where they would start talking about themselves?
Yes, it was more than one. It was more than one.
They started looking to you for therapy?
Yes. I was like, and like, cause sometimes I would give like a background, like when they ask your history, right? And so when I got to so for those two, I would go to them and like, I'm depressed, I need help, I just think so, I need a safe space to talk, help me. And they were like, yes, okay. First 2 sessions go great. Third session, ooh, girl, so let me ask you about this BetterHelp app. Like, seriously, a million questions. Oh, what about your clients? Oh, what? And then this and well, we're out of time. So I'll talk to you. Are you serious right now, my guy? Like, well, one therapist coming, she was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, I feel okay today. Like, it's like, oh, good. Cause, oh man, I'm having a rough day. I don't even know where to begin. I was like,
horrible.
And she fucking, so then the third therapist.
No, because then you should have said, what, you owe me. You owe me money.
Oh, I wish I was that, because I try to be assertive. I was just like, hey, it looks like, the session ended up being all about you. So, but the thing is, my time is limited. So I was, I was just like, I didn't have any more time left that week. So I was just like, whatever, it is what it is. So I just clicked switch therapist right after that session and switched therapists. The third one, I was like, okay, I'm not going to tell them I'm a therapist. I'm going to keep it secret. I'm going to say nothing, right? Got through 3 sessions and it was super annoying because they were going way, way back. Like, so let me tell you what therapy is and what it's about. And I was like, I know what I was like, I'm good on that. You don't have to do that. Third session, she's talking about what self-care is. How you define it. I was like, oh God, this bitch. I was like, look, I'm a therapist. Like, I understand. Listen, can we get to the nitty gritty? It was like, oh, you're a therapist? I was like, yes, ma'am. She was like, oh, okay. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me so I told her about like, my practice, whatever, all that stuff. The next session, I'll be damned, Jennifer. The next session, she was like, girl, how you doing? I'm like, yeah. How you feel about this BetterHelp app? Oh,
no.
God. I think I like it. No. It's great. I love it. Okay, can we just focus on me? Yeah. So, I'm so sorry. You might hear my husband coming in and out. Like, girl, he's been drinking. I don't know what to do. Like, I was like, oh hell no. In the session, click, switch therapist. Like, I was taking me a break. I'm gonna take me a break.
See, thank you. A little bit. Thank you for sharing this because number one, it's hard to find a therapist that's a good match.
Yes.
So you're going through this path, and then also to go back, you're also hitting on a good point of how do you do self-care when you're in survival mode? Because you're going through a divorce, you're starting a new relationship that's long distance. You have 3 beautiful children that you care for, plus grinding it out. Like, it seems like a 9-hour job, if I have my math right. 8 to 10? Yeah.
I see
with a
more like
3-hour
12 to
break.
14.
Yeah.
I don't think I was getting any sleep. And that's another thing. Like, and I'm sure you all know out there the importance of sleep. Sleep is crucial, So it's like my body was just breaking down slowly but surely. Like I said, I couldn't swallow. I could barely walk. And I went from working out every day, eating right. I was doing really well. My health was good. And then it was just I took, so it's difficult because it's on one hand, you're reaching out for help. You're trying to take care of yourself and then you just can't get it. So it's just how do I do it for myself? And one thing for me, I'll say that I really was hoping, for support outside of myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I sat down one day and I realized girl, you're not going to get it. You got to figure some stuff out because after I left the hospital, I was just I don't want to die.
Yeah.
My kids need me.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing, girl? You gotta, so I sat down and wrote out a plan for self-care. And it it's not you're oh, I'm writing this plan and ding, I'm doing everything the next day. Hell no. It was
Yeah.
a gradual months of me trying to incorporate eating right, me trying to incorporate exercise, me trying to incorporate quality time with the boys, me trying to incorporate time to play, to practice my guitar, the things I knew that, journaling, whatever it was, the things I knew that help elevate my mood, make me feel good. I had to make a conscious effort every single day because I was I'm not going on meds. I don't have a therapist because they're not there. So I gotta figure this out for myself. And I did. And it took months, but, I got on track. But, I think it's really difficult as a therapist when you're depressed and you are, let's just say you've just had crying spells, you know what I mean? And then you got to sit there in front of a laptop and pretend that everything's okay and just focus on your client. That's one of the most difficult things. I feel over the years I've learned how to push my stuff down and focus on the client. But then it's just that's one of the main things we tell people not to do. Don't push it down. But you have to as a therapist. You have to push it down and focus on, your client for that period of time and then work on your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely.
There was something I saw that
You're actually bringing up just in your own routine some of the hitting all of the aspects of self-care.
Oh, am I?
You are. You are. You're modeling. You're modeling what it is. Based on some things that I've read, self-care can fit into multiple categories, whether it's mental, emotional, physical, environmental, spiritual, recreational, and social. And of course, there's always a push to be balanced, but it's not like you can be balanced at all of those things at once. And as you said, it's small changes over time, consistently, and
Absolutely.
really taking action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The implementation part, I tell my clients all the time, that's the hardest part, and staying consistent with it. You're gonna have days where you're just I have nothing to give. I don't know where I'm gonna get it from. And that's okay. You do what you need to do for you to help fill your cup back up. And then you keep going, you just don't stop is the biggest thing, right?
For sure. There is talk about different types of self-care in the sense of these grand gestures, I need to go on vacation. that takes a lot of time and energy and money and resource that people don't always have.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm going to completely change my diet and only shop at some fancy, Whole Foods, whatever. But if you don't have that access or privilege, then that, what are you going to do? And so sometimes that's why people lean towards self-medication, where it's like, a bottle is cheaper, or this is easier to grab. And so now there's a focus on more of like tiny, small movements or micro self-care, where it's just trying to get, enough sleep or slowly adding healthy things. It doesn't have to be this massive overhaul, but just having the intention of, I'm going to start eating I'm going to add more fruit to my diet or add more vegetables over time.
Yeah. I feel like when people hear self-care, they're just like, oh, I have to do all of these things. It could be something as small as taking a bath, like, whatever. And it's subjective too, right? Whatever that makes you feel good, do that. Take a shower at night or a bath at night, put some candles on, like listen to music, like all of that stuff matters. It may seem small, but it affects your mood in a positive way.
And experiment too, because sometimes, and this goes, we're talking about mental health professionals, but this applies to anyone who is dealing with stress, of asking yourself, what does make me feel good? Because and this goes with therapists, if we're and health professionals, when you're so focused on pushing yourself down to be present for other people, you can lose connection with yourself. And so starting the practice of, how do I feel after I eat this? Or how do I feel after, I spend time with my kids, or whatever the case, taking a bath, and holding on to that to make sure, like, I did feel good with this. Or, hey, I felt good playing video games. I want to, incorporate that.
Yeah, I fell off on video games lately. Yeah, it's like, that's the other thing. Like take inventory, check in with yourself, like ask yourself, hey, are there things that I used to do, like even like last week or a couple of weeks ago, that made me feel good that I'm just not doing now, and then reincorporate those things, find out why have I stopped? What is it, time, or, whatever have you, or am I just feeling, again, burnout, right? And so I don't find pleasure in the things I previously found pleasurable. So then it's like, okay, now I need to push myself to do those things.
I know for myself, if I don't set a routine before my workday, I'll be foaming at the mouth, angry and frustrated. And it's not because of the students that I counsel. They're great. It's everything else. And so I know when I first was working, I would take a break away from the computer, like even in the office, say, I'm going to sit on a completely different side of the room, look out the window, sit with my legs crossed, and just eat slowly and focus on the senses of, like, the crunch in the sandwich or whatever.
Mindful eating. Okay.
Mindful eating. Also, now, but because I'm not doing that right now, this year I've started lifting weights and getting into strength training.
Yes.
And that's something that I've talked about, like, I need to do this and move away from yoga. And it's been great to start the day focusing on, I don't know, just pumping iron was just it totally changes my mood during the day, and I'm able to deal with things from a calmer place. That being said, and I have a caveat too, there's a lot of talk about mindfulness and positivity and saying, focus on what's positive. I always want to say that there should, you don't want to focus on positivity to the point where you're complacent, where you're allowing yourself to be in a difficult situation by just saying, oh, well, it'll be better tomorrow, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like not actually facing the things or doing the things you need to do to make changes. Just saying, oh, it'll work its way out. It'll be fine.
Like your therapist situation. You could have said, maybe I should give them another shot and like work this out. And maybe, doing mindfulness and saying, oh, well, do some breathing techniques or try to focus on what's good about this therapeutic relationship. No, if it's not working, you need to change.
Yeah. It ain't working.
Don't be abused. Don't be abused. That's all I'm saying. Don't use mindfulness to tolerate abuse. So,
yeah, and I just want to reiterate the fact that, like, as mental health professionals, it is okay to say you're not okay. We're constantly telling our clients that. We're constantly telling other people that. But do we tell ourselves that? No, because we deep down, we have this, like, deep-seated belief that, like, we have to have our shit together. Like, what? If
actually, I did that. I did that last week, and I don't know if the person knew what to do with it.
What do you mean? You told someone it's okay to not be okay?
No, somebody asked me, how was I doing? Mm-hmm. And I said, feeling a little low-grade stress and a little tension in my shoulder, a little tight.
And what did they say?
It was like, they had a little deer in headlights.
Isn't that interesting?
It was fascinating. We moved right along, but I feel like that's also teaching people to be aware of themselves and to be able to express it. But yeah.
Like, if you don't really want to fucking know how I'm doing, don't fucking ask like that. Dear planet. You were like, man, I had some rough sex last night. My coochie hurting. Like, I can't walk. Like, hey, my shoulder is, low grade stress. It's like, no. That's society now. That's why people don't share shit, because they know that people can't handle it. It's so sad. Like, I tell my clients all the time, they come to session, I'm like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good. I'm okay. We don't play that here. We don't play. This is, no. Now, get your feelings wheel. Give me at least 3 feeling words to resonate with you. Describe how you're feeling right now. Okay, well, let's see. Humiliated, dejected. This is shit I'm talking about.
That's a huge change from I'm okay.
I'm okay. Exactly. Yeah. Like, and they know, my clients know at this point, they come to session prepared with the feelings wheel. I'm like, hey, how you doing? How you feel? I'm like, yes, that's what I'm saying. And when people ask me, if I'm not good, I'm not going to say I'm not good. I say, you know what, I'm struggling right now, but I'm getting it together. And, it's, if you want to know more, I can expound more. More times than not, they don't want to know more. So
of course not.
But
that's great.
It's so sad though. Like, even amongst mental health professionals, it's like I guess we're so full, our cup is so full from hearing our clients that, like, when we're in our everyday life, it's just like when other people want to open up, sometimes just like, this feels, what am I? Feels my cup. My cup is overrunning now, because it's just like, geez, because I don't know how you operate after work, but like after work, I have to decompress. I have to listen to my music. I can't talk to someone right after I'm done, like with 5 or 6 back-to-back sessions. I have to, and sometimes, which is another reason why I say I love my therapist. My therapist is awesome. Sometimes I have to just message her and be like, hey, like, this is a rough one today. Like, Cause it's hard. Like, you don't ever want to break down in session. You know what I mean? You don't want to show them that you want to show empathy, but you don't want to show that you can't handle what they're telling you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Um,
You're kind of the vessel for what they're going through.
mm-hmm.
So if you're cracking.
Yes. This is another, you know, big reason why we need to take care of ourselves, because we do not want to be in session, you know, bawling. Again, shout out to the other therapist that I saw that was sharing all that shit to me. But like, you need your own therapist. It's okay to get your own therapist. I do want to say something, Jennifer, real quick, like, because I did do a little research myself. I do want to give like this stat, because I found it really I was just like, dang, I don't even think that I knew this or thought about this, but it was saying that there is a high suicide rate amongst mental health professionals, with some studies suggesting that close to 30% have felt suicidal. Nearly 4% have made an attempt.
I had no idea.
It also said that, like, I think 62% of people who responded psychologists and mental health professionals that responded, 62% of them self-identified as depressed, and 42% of them identified as depressed with suicidal ideation. But they're not seeking therapy. They're not trying to get help. They're suffering in silence because of the stigmas, you know, because more times than not, some therapists can't afford, you know, insurance. Like, a lot of us are 1099 contract workers. So we have to buy our own insurance. Shout out to BetterHelp for providing a stipend. If you make a certain amount of hours a month, they will give you a stipend for health insurance. But yeah, some therapists who work for themselves, do private practice, like, they have to get their own health insurance, you know, and that's expensive.
It is. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on looking for a therapist within the insurance network. No. Don't get me started. This is only supposed to be 30 minutes.
Get you started. Hey, we're already over. You might as well just say it.
It's I'm not going to get riled up. It's very depressing to look for therapists that are through this insurance provider, and it just seems so limited in what they're willing to do. And they don't look like me, and they look boring. Like, I feel like they won't understand my particular issues. And so it's easy. I've gone through the search for therapists, and it's like, nope. Absolutely. And so I go outside, and that does cost an arm and a leg. So
how much does it cost?
I don't know. I haven't bought one yet. No, you know what? I think with an associate, like someone who's still getting their hours, it could be about $100. $120.
Yeah.
But it goes up higher for the more established ones. That's a lot. That's a lot of money.
Yep. That's why, like, when people come to me, you know, and they're struggling, I'm just like, hey, I know my rate says such and such on Psychology Today, but, you know, look, what can you afford? What can you do?
Yeah.
You know, let's figure something out. Sometimes if you reach out to the therapist personally, like, and tell them your situation, you know, they're like, okay, yeah, let's figure this out, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, we want to help. You know, like, yeah, we have bills to pay. We have families to take care of too. But we truly, truly want to help, you know? I know you're going to say I'm over time, but I do want to say something.
No. I was going to say no. Go right on ahead.
Like, to all the therapists out there, mental health professionals, psychologists. You know, if you're struggling, talk about what you're going through. Share your experience with other people. Reach out to other mental health professionals and, for support. Seek
It's
your
not
own
selfish.
therapy.
It's not selfish to ask for help.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I know, we sit around and we preach assertive communication to clients and advocating for yourself and setting boundaries. But I know other therapists who don't do that. So please set boundaries. It's okay to say no. Yes, we're empathetic. We care about everybody, but it's okay to just, put yourself first because we have to. All of us, everyone, right? We have to make our own mental health a priority. Was there anything else you wanted to share, Cuz?
I feel like it just repeats what you're saying or re-emphasizes. It's also modeling for clients how to take care of themselves. And as therapists or health professionals, we have to stay sharp. And if we don't take the time to decompress and take care of oneself, then the vessel starts to break. And so, yes, more to self-care, however that looks.
Speaking of, other than the working out, lifting weights, what does that look like for you, Cuz?
Self-care? I go hiking. I love hiking. Being out in nature, getting outside, especially after a really bad day, or I've had some really intense clients or parents, or, where it's a little toxic, I will go on a hike, which is super nice. What else do I do? I do take baths. I love it. Listen to my music playlist. Last year, I was trying to do facials. Not actually give facials, receive facials. So yeah. I'm getting older. The skin's wearing out.
Stop
so I figured,
Stop it.
It's wrinkle fest. So
what? Your skin looks bit more hydration. Flawless.
Please, we don't need any positive. Oh, that's another thing. I'm the self-deprecating counselor. So I love how you're when you tell people, oh, you're lucky you got the best therapist ever. I normally, when kids are in distress, I'm like, oh, the therapist is busy. I'm sorry, you're with B Squad. And they laugh. I'm like, I'm sorry.
No, we have to talk after this.
Dude, don't worry. The therapist is normally don't believe her. She's awesome. She's like, nope. But whatever the case, I like to break it with humor, wah, wah, wah.
No, we'll admit that is funny as fuck.
It is.
You got that big spot.
Dude, they crack a smile every time.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Humor is so amazing. Yes. Self-care, seriously, you watch a comedy show, comedy special. Laughter is extremely beneficial in self-care.
And fake it till you make it. And laughter is free. And when you're angry, you can start with just saying ha ha ha, and see how long you can do that before you start laughing.
Is that what you do?
Try it. That one's for free.
Somebody pissing you off, bitch, I'm gonna cut you.
Ha, 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 ha.
That kind of shit would scare me, because if you piss you off, you're like, I'm out of here. I don't want to buddy.
You should be scared. You should be scared.
You got my weave done. I ain't telling you my hair pulled out. I'm like, this thing. Yeah.
Let me know what happens when you try that.
No. People already think I'm weird enough. I do that. Like, the fuck's happening? How about this? They'll be yelling like I was.
You can try it in your head then. You can try it in your head.
I'll tell you how it goes, cuz. I'll tell you how.
Thanks. Oh, this is always a pleasure.
Yes, always. We gotta be better. I know we're both super busy, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to be better. Try to get on here, do more podcasts.
Dare I say, maybe we'll just put something on the books for October.
Yes,
but we can
please.
discuss that later.
Please. November and December will be crazy for me because my baby is coming in November. Shout out to my baby, Lee. Harvard Lee Productions. He also did the music. Yeah, shameless plug. Check him out on Instagram. I wish I could say YouTube, but he's on YouTube. If you're listening to this, yes. You want to plug anybody, guys?
Do I want to plug anybody?
Sounds weird. You want to pick? I'm so sorry, never mind. Anywho, thank you all for tuning in on this amazing day, September 4th. You know, it's a great day. We're in September. Thank you for tuning in. You like my radio voice? Hello, hi. Thank you. ASMR.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're out.
Now, yes. Have a good one, everybody.
I feel like you're mocking me.
Try to sound calmer because I'm always the loud, brash one.
You need to be.
Good night, everyone. Take care and self-care. Because self-care is not selfish. It's self-love.
Word. Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.